The Eden Zero chapter dropped late. That really messed with what I was doing, but alright. So we start out with Weiss and Pina hugging Witch, basically happy that she's alive. Witch is like, oh, I'm feeling a pattern here, which, yeah, you should, because everyone's excited that you're alive. And the pattern is definitely going to continue as they get more and more of their crewmates together. Witch tries to name Pina with honorifics like she does with the rest of the crew, but Pina's like, no, you just call me Pina. That's what you did in the old world. And they basically explain how she's actually one of the shining stars as well. She's Ziggy's last creation. Also, Pina has all of her memories this time around, because the happy universe. Happy in a way, I suppose, where she actually knows why she was sent 50 years in the past, and also she has important information on the Enos 1. And she doesn't tell anyone. She decides that it's best to tell everyone all together at once. So, yeah. Which I don't think is really safe because something happened to you in the time they're trying to recollect everyone. But, they're the only ones who know what this future is. Well, this past could be. It's a very complicated time travel in this place because everything is always a little bit different. But yeah, Pina's probably safe until they get all the crew together. Shiki and Weiss are in the bath together, and Shiki then wonders, is it really okay for Weiss to come with them because he has his mother in this universe? He has a reason to stay. And Weiss responds by transforming the shower head into a high-pressure water gun and just blast Shiki in the face. Weiss's thoughts are simple. He's happy his mother's alive, but this is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be with his friends. He's supposed to help them. And not just that, but he even explains how his mother wanted him to do this as well, where she basically explained how she was an adventurer back in the day as well before she settled down. And she actually encouraged him to do what she did. Weiss is also apparently good with Cyber in this timeline, where he's actually willing to look out for Weiss's mom in this time as he goes off into space. And as a farewell gift, Weiss's mother gives him a pendant that she found on her adventures when she was young. And there's a high possibility that this pendant is probably was in contact with Mother, so it probably had some a residue of her power. So that would be good, because the only way to find Mother is to to collect everything that has residue of her that has come in contact with her until you have enough, and it will guide you to her. So if that's one of them, that would be great. So Weiss basically concludes that he's doing this because they're friends, and he's going to be with them because that's where he should be. He also then asks why are they taking the bath at the exact same time, and she's like, yeah, I don't know. So they just accidentally took a bath together. Also, Rebecca's there, hiding in the corner, because apparently she mixed up the bathing time for the men and the women. I guess if you have to have nudity of the guys, you have to at least have one naked girl. So Happy, Witch, and Pina are all together talking, and Happy is starting to wonder, why doesn't Witch remember anyone but they do? And Pina's like, well, Witch didn't go back in time, obviously. That should have been clear to everyone who took part in the, And she points out that both Pina and Lebelica would also be able to remember if they got their memories jogged. And so Happy decides to check up on Lebelica, and she's still making videos shit-talking Rebecca. So that hasn't changed. So, back on planet Gils, they're all doing what they're doing to find Sister. That's when she says, hey, wasn't Homeru with us last time? How did that happen? And Pina's like, well, she found Weiss on Blue Garden, and she basically just took her on a ride. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, she's looking for Valkyrie. Well, I suppose we'll find her eventually. Which is just a laid-back way of finding someone. Like, we don't know where she is at this point, but we'll find her eventually. So they get to the Rogue Out hideout, and they're basically ready to kick in the doors to save Witch, also to recruit 2 other members of their crew. So as soon as they kick in the door, they immediately then threaten the fake sister, basically saying that they're going to save the real one. But of course, it ends up being the leader of Rogue Out is actually Sister, the real one, which wasn't surprising. I was kind of predicting that from the start. So Shiki and Rebecca are happy to see Sister, but Weiss is like, no, this is not how it's supposed to go. Like, he's uncomfortable how different things are. And I don't blame him, because things are about to actually start getting worse for the first time in the new world in Universe Zero. So Sister wants to know if they work for Drakken, and they're like, wait, what? So she's like, Drakken Joe? And then everyone's like, wait, wasn't Drakken Joe connected to Giltz in many ways? And then they're like, wait, does that mean he's on this planet? Which, yeah, that's actually how he learned about the Eden's Zero crew and such. Because basically, and Rebecca, partly, was because they were on the same planet for a brief time. But obviously, things are kind of repeating themselves, so he's once again back on the planet. Oh, and it's much, much worse. He isn't just alive and kicking and doing all the evil shit he's always done. He's also basically controlling Homeru. Yeah, so Homeru apparently borrowed some money from him, and most likely to find Valkyrie, or whatever. Well, it's really hard to tell because she's not wearing her combat clothes in this. She's wearing a standard kimono, like the peasant-looking one as well. So, like, she usually wears a kimono, but it's usually built so she could fight. This one does not look that way, so I'm not entirely sure if she was even trained by Valkyrie. That's the weird thing. And she's also acting very skittish and weak in front of Drakken Joe. Now, this is a non-issue, partly because as soon as she gets her memories back, she's going to be able to just activate all of her skills and everything about herself. That's no big deal. But in the meantime, until she doesn't have her memories, she's basically just a poor, weak, defenseless girl who just said she'd do anything to pay off her debt to Drakken Joe. And yes, he straight up said, so anything. And knowing how this man operates, he's basically going to turn to a slave and slowly drain the life force out of her. I can't wait for this because a rematch with Drakken Joe is going to be pretty cool. I mean, let's be honest, the guy's crew was pretty powerful at the time, but Drakken Joe himself was a monster. Like, legit, the only way they could beat him was by destroying his life-sucking machine, which forcibly caused him to age and then turn into a monster, and then eventually just burn himself out. So Shiki didn't actually get a chance to actually beat him one-on-one. Or hell, even a tag fight, he couldn't even beat him. This time, Shiki should be able to do that, so that's going to be pretty cool. Actually see a proper fight between Drakken Joe and Shiki. I can't wait for this. Plus, we also get to take down all the old villains again. That should also be fun. This final arc is really going on the right track. I'm really happy with the way things are going, and I just can't wait to see how other things are different. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Eaton's Theater and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.